Thanks for stopping by again. This is the part 2. You can afford to fail the GCE this year. My name is Mondi, and I told us that I was going to be sharing with us the strategies that led to my victory, because I know that it's going to help someone out there. Firstly, the challenges. If you haven't listened to the part 1, you go there so that you know where we are coming from. The challenges that were before me is the job, the family. Then one pertinent, I can put it as a principal challenge, was my reasoning. My reasoning faculty had a problem. It was really affected for some years. That is, I couldn't reason. I easily would forget things. Sometimes I was like, I forgot. I always made the statement, I've forgotten. I couldn't retain anything. So even when God was speaking to me, go back to school, I was like, how do I go back to school? As a teacher listening to me, you know what it means when you're teaching and a learner cannot reproduce, what he just said. So my reasoning was attacked. I was aware that it was attacked. I was praying for it. I was praying. Sometimes even at the job site, my boss would just like always forgetting. And I would just laugh. And to me, I would just laugh from within and say, Father, I know one day it will be over. So first, it's like I was functioning about maybe just 5% of my brain. That's it, because even at the time when it was time to register for the advanced level, they told me that I needed my ordinary level certificate. I had not taken it from Boya. I began doubting, did I even pass? That was the state. I was like, did I even pass the ordinary levels? Because I'd abandoned the sleep there. So I had to, even the principal was like doubting that maybe this woman is trying to play some tricks here. I had to travel down, and I successfully got it. And when I saw the result, I was like, oh, these were even the subjects. Because the day the result came out, I was in church, so my brother just came and told me, we're just happy that I saw the newspaper. That was it. I didn't bother. So I wasn't really functioning appropriately. That was one of the greatest challenges. Another challenge was the challenge of sleep. And I will call that artificial sleep. You sleep when you don't want to. You wake up in the morning, you go to work, you start sleeping at the job site in the morning when you haven't done anything. That was another challenge. The sleep will just come suddenly, and there's a pressure that comes upon you. It compares you to sleep when you don't want to. And this kind of sleep, it's sweet. The sleep it's a very sweet one. When it comes, you are weakened. These were some of the challenges. Now, in the school where I was, the teachers weren't there this academic year that I enrolled. They told me that the previous year it wasn't so. The teachers this year, especially with my own subject, one of the principal subjects was literature. The teachers weren't available. So they told me that they changed the leadership, and so the current leadership, by somehow they weren't really working the way they ought to. And so we didn't have teachers in some subjects like literature, which I was offering. The teacher came just 1 or 2 times, and that was it. So these are some of the crises, and I was asking myself, I didn't do it in the first cycle. How do I manage 12 texts? There were 12 texts. I was like, how do I manage them? And so to handle and to combat all this, these are the 3 principal strategies that I put in place. The spiritual preparation, psychological preparation, and physical preparation. For the spiritual preparation, I had to put God first. Firstly, He inspired me to go back to school. He says, unless the Lord builds, they build in vain, they labor in vain. So I didn't want my labor to go in vain. I had to really put the Lord before everything. I just had to cling on Him. You said I should go to school. I've obeyed you. Now I'm going. And so I'm going. I just had to put Him before. And I'm telling you, that was the very first spiritual strategy. And of course, as a Christian, prayer was one of the fundamental too as well. I had to include prayers, and as I was praying and doing that which I was doing, the Lord kept putting me forward. The first days in school were quite challenging, because I'll return back and I'll say, I can't even retain anything here. I was like, I will be saying, God, how can I go to school? Now I've forgotten everything the teacher has taught me. But I thank God. I didn't want to take a no for an answer, whether I wasn't reasoning, whether the teachers weren't available. I didn't want to cast blames on the teachers not being available. My focus was God. You told me to go to school. Here am I. I've obeyed and I'm going to school. And the second preparation here, strategy was psychologically. And psychologically would have to do with the mind. You know, the state of your mind. You know, we are surrounded now a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, sickness. I mean, you're thinking on how to fend for yourself, the family. All that one, they had to just go to rest. All what was in my brain is that I'm writing an exam, I'm already at advanced level, and my target is to make it in the advanced level. So those challenges, I kept them because this time it's as if the whole hell was open against me. Things I never expected in my life. I mean, right from the closest, you just find some little distractions. But I was so focused. All I wanted was to get what I wanted to get. So my mind, my thoughts, my emotions, I really had to bring them under subjection. Yeah, I brought them under subjection so that I could hit target. Now, we talk about the physical preparation. Yes, after this, I could now go for the physical. The first thing here, attend all your lessons and get all the notes. I had a challenge. I was always late in school. If you listen to the part one, you understand this. I was always late in school. So I would struggle to get all my lesson notes. I would copy from the others who were there before me. And then I had to attend. I ensured I attended all my classes. Number two is that I started making use of my Android. I started downloading enough past questions, and then I had to like familiarize myself with them. You know, it's been 12 years back. I haven't been in school. The structure, the system, many things have changed. I didn't know how things were going, so I familiarized myself with those questions. There is this app I'll encourage us to download. That's Kaulo. I downloaded this particular app, Kaulo. It helped me. It has past questions and answers. You can go there. I don't want to go detailing there. If you download it, you get instructions and anything you want to get there, they're going to let you know. And the next thing here, the third point under physical preparation is that for a subject like literature, I had to download all the summary, all those texts. I downloaded all the summary, ensure that I had them. You know, with literature, you have things like those of you know Coriolanus, those Shakespearean languages. How would I understand? There is no teacher. And there's one thing I said to myself: these teachers will not let me down. I'm going for what I want to get. Okay? So I downloaded all the summary notes and I had them. I went to school in November. So I had less than 7 months to do a program that I had to cover maybe for, let me say, 4 years, because a subject like philosophy, the syllabus starts in Form 3. So let me say 5 years. It wasn't that easy. That I want to thank God. The only teacher that was really, as far as my subjects are concerned, that was consistent in class was my philosophy teacher. I really want to thank him. He should be listening to me by now. And so I also had to get another strategy under the physical preparations. I had to get online lectures. There are so many. When you just go there, you just type on lectures of whatever you're finding on so and so text, like Dance in the Forest. That small book is small like that, but it is perfect. Some of us do know it. Very small, but it's kind of very tough if you don't really get insight. So I had to get lectures on the different texts that we're offering at that time. And some of the texts, like in literature, you can watch a film, because film will create what we call imagery. You have the images with you, and so you have, you get to know what the story is all about, even if you don't get the details. I know my time was very short. I knew my physical, my responsibilities. So I had to apply this strategy so I don't get to excuse myself that there is no way. And another thing I made use of my Android was I recorded lectures. When lectures were going on, I recorded. To you who's listening to me, perhaps you're in a day school, they don't permit you with Android. At least you have all the full. I was just attending an evening school and I had to put this one in place. So I'll record the lectures while at home. Sometimes, being in the kitchen, I'm doing laundry. I'll be receiving lectures at the same time. I'll replay them, and the teacher, I'll be listening to the lessons. And now, attend catch-up classes. That is the 6th point. attend catch-up class. That helped me a lot, especially in philosophy. It's the catch-up classes that made me pass. We're just doing revision of questions. I had to really get myself acquainted. Next, manage your sleep. There is something before you, so you don't want to sleep the way you used to sleep before. Reduce your hours of sleep. Reduce it because you want to hit target. You look at your work. There's work before you. You want to study, and so you have to reduce your sleep. And the fifth factor there is the time factor. Limit your visits. Limit your engagements on your Android, social media. There are all the TikToks, all the Facebook, all the WhatsApp. If you are going there, it should be purposeful because there is something before you. And so when I get there, every other chat I had, by the way, at that time, I was just like partially on Facebook. I could only really appropriately function or fully function on WhatsApp. So I had to limit my chat. When I go there, I'm doing research, I'm finding on this and that one. And this one takes discipline because I think we all know what comes with social media. It comes with force. When you go there, what you're looking for, they start proposing other things to you. So I had to discipline myself, not now. This one, I don't need it now. And to some of us who might need an alarm clock, I didn't use an alarm clock, but it does help some people. It does help some students. You might want to get an alarm clock. I think they are affordable out there. Another surprising strategy I want to tell us here is about dressing. I had to control the kind of dresses that I do wear so that I wouldn't wear some complicated dresses that would take me time to start, laundering. I already told us I knew my program. So I had to go for some simple, very easy to wash. Sometimes dresses that a 4-year-old child would wash would help me. I mean, a 5-6-year-old child would help me to just wash the thing and I'll come and wear. To the extent of my underwears, I choose the colors because those things are time consuming. Ladies, you understand what I mean. So I had to go in for things this one just to create time. Okay. Now, the next thing here is diets. There are some meals you eat, you become heavy. So I understood my digestive system. I understood that it is slow. There are some meals you eat there, you just start sleeping. You're not going to study. So it might be quite difficult, especially now, but it's possible for you to do that control. And also the time at which you eat. You want to wake up in the night and study. You put one big bowl of fufu at the okra before you just eat and sleep. Now, this also depends on your system, okay? So also control your diet. And now, we used to write how many days left to the GCE. You're calculating 100 days. And each day you keep subtracting. That you put it somewhere where you see it every day. Each time you wake up, 99 days left, 66 days left. When you begin to look at it like that. In terms of reading, I didn't have where to read. So there's a supermarket just beside me. I'll have to leave all the distraction in the house. I went there to read. Now, my level of focus and concentration was such that, I see there it's a place people come and sit and relax, take their snacks. And so the chairs are placed opposite each other. The person that was opposite me, the person you could come, you sit, you take your snacks, whatever. For the next 1 hour, I wouldn't know who's sitting just opposite me because my head was like this. And this same place, the kind of music, the kind of speakers they use there, I don't know how to grade it or fast. It sounds right inside your ears. But like my ears were deaf to it. I didn't have any alternative. I didn't have any better place to go and read except the school. And right there in school, at 8 as you're closing, they say they're shutting the school. Nobody stays there. So sometimes I'll even drag a bit with the security. They say, Madam, you will not go. To me, it was like, you will not understand. The house, a lot of distractions. I have to leave. There was a day when the school was even closing. I stepped there and I said I was coming to read. They told me that, they said the head teacher said that nobody should. Before the guy could finish a statement, I was already inside. I said, I'm only come here to read. I will not disturb your graduation ceremony. I sat in class when they were closing. I sat there with the pupils of the school while they were receiving their report cards, or the class teacher was reading results. I was also there reading my book. I'm trying to show the extent or the level of concentration and I already understood my situation. I had to implement all these methods. And at the end of the day, I want to say something before I leave us. With literature, I looked for a different literature teacher, and I said I was going to personally pay. When the teacher came, I gave in like half of the money. The teacher came the first day the teacher came for literature, because some students already abandoned the subject. There was no teacher. And with me, I was like, this is my key subject. According to how God has laid in my heart, I began seeing where God was leading me to. I said I will not abandon. The teacher came the first day, just with the first lesson. He was a GCE examiner. My eyes were open. I was happy. Finally, thank God, there's a teacher here. After 1, 2, 3 times, the teacher was nowhere to be found. He left me. And because of that action, I told myself I will not fail the teacher. I decided I was going to have either an A or a B grade in literature. And my former teacher had told me that they don't compromise with literature here. To mark, they don't compromise. A is A, there is there. And so I started fighting. I was reading those summaries. I was listening to those lectures. And I want to show us a book here. This is one of the books that helped me. This one is the English version. This one is, you have it here, advanced level English language. But we still have this Evictus. I listened to most of his videos too as well. The title is Evictus. The one in literature is voluminous. You have it voluminous, this one in literature. I can't guarantee you that I read all the book because my time was very limited. But in the later part, the part 3, they told me, I was hearing stories, part 3 literature is very difficult. It's very hard. They don't the way they explained it to me, I told myself I will not fail literature. And so on the last day that I read literature, such that when writing paper 2, I had excess questions, and due to that, it instead penalized me. It's dangerous to have excess subjects, because I had to choose 2 from the same section but from different texts, and I was just ticking, oh, this one I can answer, this one, and I was already working on a minus 25 marks because I didn't follow that rule. And when I noticed that I still had paper 3 before me, I just said to myself, thinking or regretting will not rectify that. Let me focus on what is before me. I took that paper 3 that day. I left the house on a Sunday. We're to write on Monday. I left the house at 7:30, and I went to school. I said, I'll hold service. There was a time I said, I'll hold my own service here. I'll hold my own service here. There's no problem with that. It's not a sin. I went that day in school. I was in school with another student. We sat there from morning, 7:30 in the morning, right up to 9:30 p.m. in the evening. The security had to come and say, he had to come and send us out. I took that book and just got some principles on how to handle the paper 3. And I tell us, when I enter paper 3, I was asking myself, they say paper 3 is difficult, but how? Where is it difficult? I was like, where is it? Because I had the answers. Yes. I read from that morning. I know that it wasn't really healthy enough, but I had to read in school from that morning and rested within the gap of 20 minutes, just a 20-minute sleep, and I continued reading. From 7, when I got to school, it should have been 8. Let me say from 8:30 right up to 9:30 when we're leaving. And that was it for the paper 3. When the result came out, I was fighting to check my grade in literature. And I saw that I had a C. Well, I thank God for everything. I knew it was the error I did due to excess questions. But at least I thank God that I made it in literature. There wasn't any teacher. Don't complain that there are no teachers coming. I mean, with the evolution now, there are things you can't afford to say without this person or without that person. These were the strategies put in place. I know I must not have mentioned all, but I think this one, I already knew everything that surrounded me. This is how far I went, and the Lord being merciful. I had all the papers I went in for. I had it also. My teacher had said, congratulations in advance, just go and read the other subjects. I didn't give them rest. I will call, please sir, can you Message me, just voice me on WhatsApp, give some lectures on WhatsApp. They will give me on WhatsApp. I'll be listening and copying the teachings on WhatsApp. When the result came, one of my teachers said, oh, congratulations, hard work pays, because I gave them no rest. I kept on pasting. It was the time I'll go to a teacher's house. Yes, I know I'm free now. I don't have much at the job. I'm free now. Please show me, what about this, what about that. That is how all these things put together. I know in subsequent videos that we're going to come up with, or subsequent editions of this program, because there is actually much on our table, you're going to be getting some of them there. And by the grace of God, if God grace us, or really grace me, I'll be coming up with I'll give you some summary on some of the text, like Coriolanus is a very quite challenging text. Giving us some lessons there as God is going to enable me. I didn't want to make this very loud, but the Lord really impressing my heart, because sharing it is really going to help somebody out there. I believe it helped you, and if it helped you, it therefore means you should invite others to watch. You should spread it around. My literature teacher, I will later on understand that he was going through a very serious challenge, working in a school where he wasn't being paid. I know it's not like it's something that's fake. I know that the school was undergoing a challenge. He was there for months. He was not being paid. The only way I could calm down my anger, because the wife I put to bed, I just got some few things, and I went and he couldn't even make me out. The challenge was too much. I didn't want to draw conclusions. So you're a student out there, you're drawing conclusions. You might not know what your teacher is going through as well. And I'm telling us, I am praying to meet him for him to bring us some lessons. But if you're in this part of the country, in Yaoundé, and you want his contact, I can give you his contact. He is okay. I would like to catch my breath here. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your patience. And all I will say is that you can afford to fail this year. I pray the Lord bless you, grace you, open your understanding, deliver you from sleep as he did to with other challenge. Sleep just disappeared. Yeah, I didn't say that. The sleep left. I could study. I could read with all that I was being surrounded by. God helped me, and it was a success at the end. At the end of the day, that was all the end of the story about that school. Thank you. God bless you.